How's it going, everybody? My name is Artorigold, and today I want to talk about patch 1.3 that just hit the PTR and what all of these changes will mean for the meta and for people maybe just play these characters. I'm going to go ahead and dive right into it and talk about the first big change, which is to Mercy. So right off the bat, we see two pretty big buffs. The ultimate cost was reduced by 15%, and her healing per second was increased from 50 to 60. Now, originally, I think the 60 healing per second was something that they had not too long ago. So now they definitely changed that back, and with it, they buffed the ultimate charge. So all around, I think this is going to make Mercy much more viable in the meta. These are some decent buffs. I don't think that she's going to be everywhere. The way Mercy is played right now, she's basically only played with a Pharah on maps that Pharah works really well on. Other than that, Mercy can be used really well to pocket an Ana. Ana is one of those characters that is extremely powerful this meta, and if she has a really strong pocket, such as a Mercy, it will allow Ana to focus on using her nade on the enemy team rather than on her own team, and getting that purple on the enemy team can be really devastating. It can help you win the fights a lot easier. I think Mercy is definitely going to be able to be more of a main healer role now. I think that was mainly just Ana. She's going to be much better for Pharah Mercy, and I'm going to see Pharah Mercy picks probably a lot more often because of this change. But also, I think she's going to work really well in combination with an Ana instead of a second healer. Other than that, though, I do think these are really good changes to Mercy. It doesn't seem like she's going to be crazy overpowered or broken. Just putting her healing back to where she's going to be more viable as a potential main healer, or just make it easier for her to get her ultimate, which can be really good because right now Valkyrie doesn't really have too much value in the meta or in the game. I think the best time to use a Valkyrie is probably just on yourself to keep you alive, so you can just fly and dash all around. The chain healing wasn't that useful because the healing per second was reduced, but now that the healing per second is back to the normal rate, I believe the ultimate will be a lot stronger. But overall, I still don't think Mercy is going to be too crazy. So for the next thing I want to talk about is Reaper. Just like Mercy, it's a character that's definitely not meta. It's fallen off meta, but these changes to Reaper are pretty big buffs. I think all around Reaper has a place in the game, but a very niche pick. He can get the job done. He's very good at tank busting and getting up close and personal, and the buffs really are going to help him do that even more. First off, with his regular primary weapon, his shotguns, the spread had the randomization reduced by 50%, which is something that we've seen with a lot of characters, and it's worked really well, and it's basically made them much more consistent damage dealers. Seen just recently with Torbjorn's right click, another thing that was done I think the same thing was done just to Torbjorn, and this is going to make for a lot more consistent damage. Sometimes you'll have shots that feel like they would hit or do more damage, and they just don't seem to do as much as they should be doing, and this will definitely fix that. The other big part to Reaper that is going to be the big part is his lifesteal was increased from 20 to 30%. This is kind of a big change, although on paper it's just 10%. It's still a lot. 30% lifesteal on Reaper. I mean, as soon as Reaper is able to get in there and start doing left click damage to people, the lifesteal is going to keep him alive, and you won't even have to worry about healing him. I think the damage that he's going to do to a tank will just heal himself. Won't even have to worry about him. Reaper's basically going to be this extremely independent flanker that doesn't have to worry about having a support to save him, and he's going to be able to heal himself through a very long, sustained fight, which is something that happens pretty often in a GOAT situation. I feel like Reaper is definitely going to be a really strong counter to GOATs, and all around he's going to be pretty good with a Lucio being able to enable him with the speed boost. So Roadhog has gotten a lot of different changes. I'm going to kind of go over them and summarize them a little bit and kind of go over what this means for Roadhog as a whole. I think overall he's definitely received a lot of buffs, but I'm not going to get into too many of the specifics because it is a lot of detail. So in summary, with his hook, the cooldown starts immediately. This is something that they did with Winston in the past, and it's really good. It basically just means that you're going to have your hook more often throughout your games because your cooldown will probably start like a half a second earlier or a second or half a second earlier, something like that. And not only is that going to be a huge thing for Roadhog because it's essentially like lowering the cooldown of your hook, and you can use it it in the middle of a fight a lot more often. You're also going to be slowing down targets' momentum or speed whenever they get hooked, meaning that your team, if you get a hook on someone and you're not able to kill them or finish them off, the speed of the target while they are getting reeled in with the hook will be greatly reduced in speed, meaning that your team will have more opportunities to shoot at them and do damage to them as they're getting reeled in, which can be really huge if you're like hooking a tank or something like that. So another thing that they did is with the left click, they did the same thing with Reaper, where they made the randomization lowered by 50%, and they just adjusted the spread for the left click and the right click, so it's not just one or the other. So both spreads are a lot more consistent. You're going to be dealing a lot more consistent damage with the left or right click, meaning that you can probably get some one-shot potentials. I haven't tested it out on the PTR myself, but you might be able to get some better hook one-shots on some characters that you normally wouldn't be able to without the randomization. Another big thing that they did is they changed the ultimate, and they made the knockback increased by 25%. And they also made the horizontal recoil kind of like decreased a little bit, meaning it's easier for you to control your ult, and it's going to hit people back 25% more. So this is going to be a pretty big change for Roadhog. It can maybe, instead of being a damage ability, you can maybe use it as a more of a zoning tool. Maybe you could use this in a way where if the enemy team is putting a lot of pressure on you, you can, instead of maybe trying to look to do left and right click damage, get a hook, and then use your ult to try and get a kill, you can probably just sit and use your ult to kind of get people to back off. You can use it more of like a monkey ult, where you could try and zone people off an objective in overtime. Roadhog, overall, I think he's going to be doing a lot more damage. His hook is going to be a lot better. You're going to see more hook time because you're going to be able to have that cooldown start immediately. So I think Roadhog might just have the changes he needs to be more viable now. It's kind of hard to say because I do think that Graviton Roadhog takes that off-tank role, and something like a Zarya Graviton in combination with a Reinhardt, it just works so well, and Graviton sets up so many kills. So if you're going to play the new Roadhog, you're definitely going to have to be able to get pick potential. So this might outweigh the ability of a team wipe, because instead of going for a team wipe play with Graviton, you'll be able to have a better chance at flanking with Roadhog and getting crazy pick kills and kind of play like Harblue or something, you know? So overall, I'm glad to see these changes. I think Roadhog mains will be very happy with it. And for the last pretty big buff is for a character I think nobody likes, but that is Symmetra. So what they did was they made the primary fire beam, basically it charges up 20% faster. And the ramp up damage on a Symmetra left click is completely devastating, increasing the charge rate by 20%. That's kind of an insane buff, but I don't know if that's going to make Symmetra that much more viable. She's a very niche pick that I don't think a lot of people are going to run ever. There are probably some one tricks out there that would be really happy to play Symmetra with that to her, but I mean, overall, I don't think this is a change that's going to change the meta or make Symmetra so powerful that you have to pick her. I do think that this makes her extremely strong, much stronger. 20% charge rate on her beam is insane. But overall, I don't think there's going to be a lot of people flexing to Symmetra anytime soon. It's definitely still a very small off-meta pick, and characters like Doomfist with the one-shot ability and the CC and the survivability and the mobility, you can't compare Symmetra to the insane characters like Doomfist, who are clearly much better. So overall, those were the changes. In summary, I think Reaper, Mercy, Sim, and Roadhog all got some crazy new changes and buffs, and I do think they're going to be a lot better in the meta. However, I still think that Reaper and Roadhog are going to be very niche picks. I think they're going to be better, but they're still probably only going to be good on the situations where they're only good now. Mercy, however, I do think is going to come back into the meta a lot more. and I think she's going to be seen more as a Ana Mercy meta. I think that Mercy is going to be extremely valuable when pocketing an Ana, allowing her to be more aggressive, and then if the Ana gets picked or killed by a Doomfist or something like that, then you'll be able to res the Ana, and even if she's in a bad position, I think the healing will be able, now that the healing has been increased by Mercy, you'll be able to pocket her until she gets into a safe location, especially if Ana's able to just use her nade on herself, and then the healing is just amplified from there. Reaper changes are really good, but I still think he's just going to remain more of a anti-goats character. He will be much better against goats. I think Reaper's been decent against goats, but honestly hasn't been the best pick for goats. I still think other characters can probably beat goats a lot better, but I think this is a step in the right direction, because if you buff both Reaper and Roadhog and their damage and their pick potential, I think that also makes Roadhog a potential contender for dealing with goats as well, or maybe just to play with goats. I think a lot of goat varieties exist out there, and Roadhog can definitely remain in the goat variety now. So either way, that's it for patch 1.3. There's some pretty good buffs here. I'm curious to see if they're going to change anything from the PTR when it hits live, but knowing Blizzard, they won't. They won't change anything. They pretty much just keep everything the same from the PTR, and they rarely have anything different. Everything that you see on the PTR generally hits live with very little changes or no changes at all. So hopefully you guys are out there looking to play Roadhog, Reaper, or Mercy again. If you're looking to play more Symmetra, maybe that could be good too. But overall, I hope you guys are really happy out there. If you got some Roadhog, Reaper, or Mercy mains, I think you're going to be really happy with these changes. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the patch 1.3 analysis. I really enjoyed talking about it, and let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. If you think they're going to change anything, some things seem too broken, if you think something's actually crazy, let me know. I want to hear what you guys think. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys next time.